The forest has its own rules, far different from those of the city. To rise with the sun is rule number 1. But we at the Evolved Back Kuruba Safari Lodge gathered even before sunrise for the vehicle safari. The group met at 5:15 in the morning for coffee and refreshments at the arrival hall. Our naturalists briefed us about the do's and don'ts and the safety measures to be kept in mind. And then we were off to another adventure. The banks of Kabini looked surreal at dawn. We got into the resort's boat and crossed the river to reach JLR. The views were absolutely stunning. Staying close to your naturalist is probably the wisest thing to do on a safari. After all, they are your only hope in the wild. After a short hike, we reached the spot where all the vehicles gather before they head into the jungle. Evolve Back's team took care of all the paperwork and permissions, and before we knew it, our safari had begun. It was a beautiful drive through villages with farmlands and fields on either side. We drove on for about 20 minutes, even through the JLR premises, till we reached the entry point of the Nagarhole Tiger Reserve. It felt like we'd passed through the gates to a whole different world. We'd entered the forest at breakfast time, and on our right was a pretty herd of cheetal, which gets its name from the Sanskrit chitral, which means spotted. There's a healthy population of them here in Nagarhole. The name Nagarhole comes from two root words, Naga, which means snake, and Hole refers to stream. The park used to be an exclusive hunting reserve of the kings of Mysore. It was declared a wildlife sanctuary in 1955, upgraded to a national park in 1988, and finally declared a tiger reserve in 1999. Part of the Nilgiri biosphere, Nagarhole is the 37th tiger reserve of India. And this was the moment when I wished we had acquired a vehicle that didn't scare birds away. After a pocket full of pictures, we were on the lookout for more residents going about their day. Communication is key when you're out in the wild. It's an unspoken rule for all the vehicles to stop and share information about their sightings and movements of animals. These important exchanges help the drivers and naturalists plan their next move. On our drive through Zone B, we noticed vast, empty banks with stubs of large trees. Our naturalist informed us that these banks are accessible mostly in summer and remain submerged during the monsoon. As we drove back into the forest, we were stunned by another encounter. Never before had I been so close to a tusker. He was calm but watchful. These gorgeous, gentle giants are solitary by nature, and they stray from the herd when they come of age. Tuskers often travel far and wide to spread the genes to other parts of the forest. Here, as we stood face to face, eye to eye, I froze inside. By 9:30 in the morning, our safari had almost come to an end, but I knew my journey had just begun.